Hi, I'm naturopathic Dr. Samia McCulley, and today I'm going to talk about hydration. So I thought this was very relevant because most of us experience dehydration at one time or another. A lot of us experience it when we fly. A lot of us experience it from time to time, even if we do drink a lot of water, just because we're not keeping up with our water. And then I'm going to talk about at the end how to keep yourself hydrated and how to rehydrate yourself, because just because you drink a lot of water does not mean that you're hydrated. So what are some signs of dehydration? Ways that you might know that you're dehydrated, and actually the number one cause for ER visits in the elderly is dehydration. So better to fix some of these things for free rather than go to the emergency room and get a big whopping bill for hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars if you're just dehydrated. So bad breath can be a sign of dehydration. Muscle cramps can be a sign of dehydration. Fatigue can be a sign of dehydration. Think of a plant. If a plant doesn't have enough water, the leaves droop, and then if you water it, in an hour or so, the leaves will perk back up. Headaches are a sign of dehydration. Dry skin, and if you're really dehydrated, fever and chills, because your body has a hard time regulating your temperature when you don't have enough water to do that. So physical signs that you're dehydrated. One is tenting, it's called. It's the first thing they'll do in the ER when you walk in if you're disoriented, and other things. Actually, disorientation, that's pretty severe dehydration. So if your skin, if you pinch your skin right here, lay your hand flat on a table, pinch your skin, and the skin does not just snap right back. It takes a few seconds to go down, or even if it just doesn't go down, it may stay in stay in the shape that you pinched it in. That's a sign of dehydration. Your fingertips can look like you've been in the bath or been in the pool for a long time, and they get pickled looking. Another sign of dehydration is on myself, and you notice this a lot as you get a little older, like in your late 30s and 40s, 50s, is your neck can look dehydrated. If you pinch your neck the same as you do your hand, and your skin doesn't stay there necessarily, but it just looks wrinkly, kind of. So that's another sign of dehydration. And then just in your skin in general, if it doesn't look moist and supple, you're probably dehydrated. So one of the physiological problems that happens when you are dehydrated is that your cells cannot take in nutrients, and they can't get rid of waste. So one of the things when you detoxify is you have to be hydrated, or else the detoxification does not work. One of the great ways of hydrating yourself is with something called Sol. And I am a salt fanatic. I love salt. I've always loved salt. And I think the idea that salt is bad for you is a big misnomer. However, if we're talking about salt like Morton salt or table salt, that's just sodium chloride. It's got chlorine, has been used to bleach the color out of it, and it's gone through processes to just look like this homogeneous material. It's not supposed to look like that. That kind of salt is not good for you. And the kind of salt that's put in processed foods is not good for you. But salt used to be traded as currency. So it's a valuable thing. It's not something to shy away from if you have the right kind of salt. And even with, so something interesting to know is that you retain water when you're dehydrated. So what else can happen when you're dehydrated is that your blood pressure can actually go up. So if you have the right kind of salt in you, it can help to lower your blood pressure with a high-fat diet, and it can also make you feel a lot better. So Sol, this thing that I just mentioned, Sol is made with Himalayan crystal salt. This is the kind we use in my office. and there are different kinds of Himalayan salt. They're not all equal. Quality definitely makes a difference. I know they can mine salt from different places, and different salts have different minerals in them. This one has about 75 different minerals. So you need all these minerals for physiological functions, for your body to work properly. So this is one I recommend. So what is Sol? Sol is fully saturated, just like the Dead Sea, fully saturated water. It has about 28% salt saturation. So this is what I do. This is empty right now, but there's a little bit of salt in this. And what you would actually do is pour more salt, probably about to here, not a half, maybe a third. And then you fill the rest with water. And over a 2-day period, what will happen is the salt will become fully saturated, meaning as much salt as that water can possibly absorb, it will. And if after 2 days you don't see any salt in the bottom of the dish, and you can use a much bigger dish than this, then you need to keep adding more salt. So you keep adding more salt until you see salt in the bottom and it doesn't dissolve into solution. And that will make it, then you'll get it to be fully saturated. Another thing with water. So if water is coming from a good place, it's clean water, there's no fluoride in the water. Our water only has fluoride in it because our city systems added in. And something that's interesting, I was actually having lunch with a dentist last week, and I asked her opinions about fluoride, and I was shocked at how much she knew about it. And what she said was that for fluoride in drinking water, it's not actually beneficial to your teeth. The fluoride has to be applied topically to benefit your teeth, to help the matrix and make them stronger so that the bacteria can't penetrate. But fluoride in your drinking water is not helpful, and one of the ways that it's not helpful is that fluoride, as it's absorbed into your system, becomes problematic because it displaces magnesium. So magnesium can cause a lot of the same problems that I mentioned that dehydration can cause. It can cause muscle cramping, it can cause fatigue and headaches and sugar cravings and all kinds of things. So if we have more fluoride in our systems than what would naturally be occurring in our water, then we can become magnesium deficient. So the kind of water that you want to use is filtered water, because you don't want it to have any bacteria in it. And then what we're doing by adding the salt is we're remineralizing the water. So if it's been purified, reverse osmosis, it takes all the minerals out of it, including all the other toxins that you don't want in it, like the heavy metals. And so you want to use reverse osmosis, no fluoride or fluoride free, and it can be remineralized or not, but your salt will definitely remineralize your water. And so once you have this, it takes a couple days to do. I actually made a new one the other day, and I tried it the first day. You can tell very quickly if it's right or not. You take a teaspoon of this Sol. And what I do is I just leave it on the counter and cover it up. And when my water gets low, I add more water and add more salt. So you take a teaspoon of this, add it to a glass of water, maybe a 12-ounce glass of water. You can do this a few times a day. And different people may be different. If you do this first thing in the morning, it can help with detoxification. So drink a big glass of water, put a teaspoon of Sol into your water, and maybe 2 or 3 more times during the day is fine. And so you'll increase your electrolyte levels. And this is also another great thing. I don't let my kids have Gatorade. Gatorade has tons of sugar and not very many minerals in it. So what I do is we put a teaspoon of Sol in the water, and add some lemon. We add a couple drops of stevia because they like to have it a little bit sweet, but that could be homemade Gatorade if you want it way better than real Gatorade. Another thing we use for hydration in my office, I have this, it's called Rehydration. You just put some drops in your water, and that will also help to rehydrate your cells. So basically it's like putting a sponge under the tap and letting it fill with water, squeezing it out, and then there you have your moist. You have your moist sponge. So your body, if your cells are dehydrated, what ends up happening is you get puffy. Your cells can't absorb the water, and so the water sits outside of your cells, and your cells just stay there sucked up and dry, not much happening to them. And so what the rehydration does, that I can see happening in my patients, it's homeopathic, so I can't tell you exactly how it works, but it does work, is that it helps to open up the cell, and then what you'll notice is that instead of going to the bathroom every 20 minutes or half an hour, you're going to the bathroom every 4 or 5 hours, and the volume of urine is much larger, and you can see that the color is different because you're getting rid of waste, and sometimes you even notice a smell to it. So the first, when you're rehydrating, if you've been dehydrated for a while, you'll notice a bigger change in the first week or so, and then once you're hydrated, these 3 liters of water, whatever, 2 liters of water that you're drinking will actually keep you hydrated. So you, depending on the time of year and the kind of diet that you have, you may use Sol all the time. Maybe you just use a teaspoon a day once you're hydrated. In rehydration, I always suggest people use this on, take it while you're flying. You can put Sol in your water when you're flying, because first of all, we don't drink enough water when we're flying because it's not available to us, and unless you purchased a $10 bottle of water at the airport, then you're only going to get the water that's offered on the plane, and that's usually nowhere near enough. So you're getting less water than you normally drink on a plane, and you're also not, you're losing a lot of your water as well, so you become even more dehydrated. I think that's all I wanted to say about hydration. If you have any questions or think of topics that you think may be helpful to learn about, please email us at info@wellnessarchitecture.com. Thanks, and have a great day.